welcome to the Late Night Show with me, Tick. How's it going? Alright, well, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show than usual, mostly because I don't actually currently have a guest. I did have a guest lined up, but unfortunately they are ill, and you know what, even though I did have a backup, I told them not to worry about it because I thought I'd take a sort of filler show this time around, because things will have to change for the Sunday show. There's things that I need to do. I need to rearrange the studio a little bit, and I'm busy playing around with mods in order to try and make sure I can have a proper cameraman, because my two shows with guests so far have been with me using my other account, whereas when it's just me, I'm able to use my cam mod. So I need to work something out there to improve the format, I guess is what I want to say. I was really happy with the two shows, and there was a marked improvement from when I brought in Midnight, not in the guests, but in how the show flowed, which is really great, and I'm really happy about that. If I can redo it, I'd like to bring Lapis Laurie back on and have that sort of conversation flow that we had with Midnight, which worked really well. I'm exceedingly happy with the way that show worked out. But I do have a whole bunch of people lined up. Thanks to Midnight and Drakkart going crazy on Twitter and everybody else who joined in, I hit 100 subs very shortly after Midnight and I did the show, so which was awesome. It was an amazing feeling, and it really boosted the show. And then I've had a bunch of messages from other YouTubers, some small, some big, not nobody massively huge just yet, but you know, the show's just starting, so we'll get to that. Wanting to actually appear on the show, so I have a possible guest list that is very long. And I need to work out a way to do all the guests and not have the show be in a bad format for it. Because I'd very much also like to have two guests on at once, which would be quite interesting, I think. And certainly tax me as a talk show host. But, you know, these are things for the future, and I'm going to use the time where I don't have a guest this week, to try and make improvements to the studio. I've been watching my own videos over and over and over again. Not on YouTube, not to boost my own views, but just watching the render over and over and trying to look at how I can make improvements to, the studio, just that bit over there, and where I stand, and where the camera is, and just general improvements all around. I love the map. The map is fantastic. And I'm very happy with this studio just for the solo ones, and for a single guest maybe okay, but there are definite improvements that need to be made, and the camera is the big thing. Due to the way multiplayer servers work, even though I had the camera on another account which was local, was connecting to the server on the actual machine that the server was on, it couldn't pick up any of the sort of subtle head movements that you can see that I'm doing at the minute, because it just didn't work that way. It doesn't translate these small movements to other people that are on the server. It sort of just leaves you then, if you have to make a big, huge movement like these in order to have it translate, which is a real shame, but it's just one of the limitations. That's what we have to work with. So I definitely need to work on something like that. And the other part is that the current structure, which is just sort of sectioned, that works well for just me, but it doesn't really flow very well when you have other people as well. It's a great way to draw a conversation on. However, it doesn't really gel with the idea of just having a guest on to talk about the stuff that they're doing, that you've been doing, and so forth. And ultimately, the way a talk show should work is that it's not so much about the host, but it is rather about the guests. And it's about what the guests are doing and what they've been up to, which is a bit of a departure from what the show has been about, which is just basically me letting you know how things are going with me and where I'm going to be going in the future. And whilst I'd like to keep a bit of that, I definitely want to change the way all this information is relayed to you. And there's a couple of other things that I've been playing around with. There's sort of having cutaways to video and so forth that can help let you know more about the people that I'm talking to. I mean, because ultimately, now that I've started to get guests, that is what the show is going to be about. It's going to be about the guests, and I'm going to be just the facilitator. You'll still get to hear about my stuff, but I'd like to very much make the show about my guests, and just have that fun, talky atmosphere that we have been having. That's something I definitely want to keep. And the next few guests that I have lined up, they're fantastic for that. They're amazingly good for talky episodes, and there's a couple that I want to bring on a little bit earlier than I had originally planned, who also fit into that mold now that we've had that really successful sort of talk episode type thing. What I want to know, though, from you was last week's episode ran into about 45 minutes or so. And I know that's a good length for some people. Laurie mentioned that it was perfect for her commute, but it's not a great length for everybody. And I just want to know if you guys were happy with it, because I personally was happy with it. I liked that I didn't feel quite so constrained on time. Whilst I was clock watching anyway, because I do, I didn't feel the need to stop the show at any one point. I quite liked the atmosphere. Was really good for just having a show continue. So, yeah, give me some feedback on how the length of the show was for you as a viewer or listener, because I know it's not a visually interesting show, it's more of a orally interesting. Okay, so now I've got all that off my chest. My wife is giggling because she doesn't understand that A-U-R-A-L is ear. She thought something else entirely. Anyway, yeah, so now that I've got all that off my chest, let's race through all the other stuff, because there hasn't been a lot. I've been very busy this week with work and my personal life. Just getting a lot of other stuff sorted. We're getting close to Christmas now, so things are sort of speeding up. And I actually need to check the dates, because I don't even know if there will be one next week. I think there will be. 2020. Yeah, okay, so we'll have a Christmas one next week, and then the following week there won't be one, because I won't be around. So that's how it goes. Just had to remember all the dates, because we'll be visiting family. So this past week, pretty much all the videos have come out as expected. There's been a really cool development in the Hypermine, the modded server, where I've introduced the character of the king, and there's some exciting sort of developments coming up for that. I've been very lax on getting my Dead Space videos out on time. I should be scheduling them because they're uploaded, but I haven't, and that's just really, really bad on my part. But I'll sort that. I've already sorted it. The next few are actually going to be coming out, and we are going to be recording what may be the very last couple of sections. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully we'll have that running out just into the new year, and then there'll be the start of a new filler series outside of the Minecraft. Ruins of the Minecrackers 2, yeah, that one's coming close to an end. We're actually on to the last skull, head, whatever thing. So I think there's only 4 more episodes to come out for that, which is nice. It's a very weird thing for me to watch, because it's one of the first things that I did on YouTube was sit here and record those with Elb, and it's very clear that it is one of the first things that I did. It's pretty awful, you know. When I'm watching it, I'm looking at it and thinking, God, I sound terrible, you know, more terrible than usual. So I'm almost glad that series is going to come to an end soon. I don't want to end it early because that's just not fair to Elb, and I prefer to finish things when I start them. Doesn't always happen. Sorry, one of my cats is begging for attention. And yeah, so we've had the Hypermine, and I did release a Hypercraft video. I've been meaning to do more of those, but Hypermine's just too exciting. It's too fun to do compared to vanilla, because I got my plans for vanilla, and I know there's a lot of grinding involved to get to where I can build some cool stuff for you guys to see. But because you don't have quarries and instant mining and resource gathering, it takes a little bit of internal fortitude to go, yeah, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to mine out this space for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to get everything I need to build something cool for video. And sure enough, that is what we have to do. That is what Minecraft YouTubers sign up for when they start a vanilla series. So it's coming along. It's just not going as fast as it could be because I'm far too interested in Hypermine at the minute. Almost, it's a bad thing, sort of. Because I mean, Minecraft is what my channel started out on. My original channel started on it, and this one, the very first series, was all modded Minecraft. So that was always my key interest. And part of the reason why I definitely wanted to join Hypermine, they were a consistent producer of modded Minecraft series, so that's why Hypermine has taken up quite a lot of the time recently. Alright, so what's happening next week? Well, we still got all the normal videos coming out. My 100 subscriber special will be coming out. It's not going to come out tonight, it's going to come out tomorrow. So please keep an eye out for that. That'll be quite cool. We got a little interesting switch around for that. I'm really looking forward to. Everything is in place now for it to just happen, and then it has to render out. Other than that, there's no real big plans. I'm currently working on my Twitch channel, getting all the bits and pieces in place. If anybody is already following me, because they will know about it from the charity stream, you will have received emails to say I've started streaming, and then if you've gone to it, it would have been dead. So it's just me working on it, trying to make sure that when I start doing that more seriously in the new year, that it's a good service right from the start. I made the mistake on my first YouTube channel of just having it there and uploading videos and then advertising myself, and it was a really awful looking channel, didn't have anything on it, and that was a mistake. It's, you know, if you're going to start doing this and do it seriously, then you need to take the time to set things up properly. So if you're listening and you're thinking about doing YouTube or Twitch or any series like that, definitely take the time to set it up the way you would expect to see it as a potential viewer, and then start doing it. Okay. I haven't really been watching many YouTube videos this week, in all honesty. I'm even behind on the Hypermine videos, which I really need to catch up to, which is really bad of me, because I try to make sure that I'm always watching those of my server mates, just because that is what you should do. It's part of the community thing. And also because I actually enjoy their videos. That's a slight clarification there. So yeah, I haven't really been watching a lot of YouTube, so I haven't found any new YouTubers for me to tell you about, which is a real shame. I'm always disappointed when I get to this section and I don't have anything great to tell you. I am eventually going to run out of people to tell you about, but that's what the guests are for. They they can shore that information up. So, and what else have I been playing? Well, really, Starbound has gripped the community at the minute. So everybody's playing it. I'm playing it. I'm playing it quite a lot. I have dumped, well, I think it's like 50 plus hours into it this week. So, and I know there are people who have done more. Armitage and Lone Wolf have been absolutely caning it. So they must be up to 100 hours each for sure. So, Zul'jin has been doing it, and he's been streaming it as well. He's been doing his little tutorial videos for it, which have been quite cool and helpful. So you should definitely go check those out. I think I'll put a link to some of them in the description. Okay, wow. Very contentless week this week, hasn't it, for this show? I feel kind of lost without a guest. It's weird. I've only had 2, and already they're like an integral part of the show. So what's coming up in the future? Well, we're going to have guests fairly regularly now. We have one guest next week for sure, and then there is a break of a week, and then beyond that we should be trying to get a guest every week and potentially 2 guests on a show. That is the hope. I'd like to get 2 guests at some point. Not every show, maybe, because it might not work out. There has to be a little bit of synergy between the people. And we might have repeat guests. I'm very happy for that to happen. So we've got to work on that. I've been working on my outro and my intro. The outro will be attached from videos from this coming week because it's pretty much finished. New intros are in the works for particularly the Sunday show and my Minecraft series, Hypermine and Hypercraft. It's a long, arduous process because I'm not really an artist. To say that I am creative would be to lie. So I'm terrible at that sort of thing, but I'm trying. I'm working hard on it. All the channel art that you see for my stuff was created by my wife, Kat, which I'm exceedingly happy for. But she also has her own things to do, and she's not always able to provide me with new art for things. So a lot of the time I have to muddle through, and if you see anything that you don't think looks all that good, it's probably from me. I am getting better at editing my videos though, particularly with the Hypermine and Hypercraft. You probably won't even notice the edits where I cut from one bit to the next in certain areas, and then you have the big cutouts where I actually say goodbye or whatever. So I'm very happy with the way that's turning out, and I'm actually getting much better with the video and chroma key and that sort of thing. Oh man, I had another train of thought there that I was gonna talk about, which was gonna be for another minute, and it just completely left me. And rather than wait for it to come back, I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna call this here 18, 19 minutes. That's not too bad for what was supposed to be a short show. So thanks for watching, everybody. You've been a fantastic audience as always, and I will see you next time. Adios.